Arthur DeMoss, passed on to glory in 1979, was the founder of the National Liberty Corporation. He revolutionized the industry of life and health insurance for the 20th century. His testimony, as found in Spirit of Revival, published in 1987, reflects how his faith guided his business and generosity. Here he writes, "I believe that with all my heart there is a strong correlation between giving and spirituality. I have observed that they almost invariably go hand in hand. You say that you give as much as you can afford after taking care of your bills. Personally, I feel we might as well not give to God at all as to give merely what little we have left over. Unfortunately, that is about all that most of us do give. However, God's command in the scriptures is to give him the first fruits. Then, invariably, what we will have left over will go a great deal further, inasmuch as it will have God's blessing upon it. Needless to say, the first part of our income, and that which we are to give to the Lord, should be a minimum of 1/10. That is what we owe him. It is only what we give God over and above the first tenth that truly constitutes an offering to him. The more we love him, the more we want to give. You say that it is impossible for you to give at least 1/10 of your income because you do not now have enough money to meet all of your obligations. Here enters God's paradoxical principle of prosperity. If you need more money, give more. Permit a word of personal testimony. After Jesus saved me, shortly before my 25th birthday, I was tens of thousands of dollars in debt, and this in spite of the fact that I had been accustomed to working 7 days and 5 nights a week. Like many other businessmen, I had the peculiar notion that I was indispensable to my business, and that if I left for a day or two, I would return to find the business gone. The Lord saved me and promised to return to me with interest all that I gave to him. I am sorry to say that I was not as quick as I should have been to take advantage of his proffered goodness to me, but I can testify to the glory of God that, in spite of my frequent unfaithfulness, he has always been more than faithful. He first took me out of debt shortly after my conversion. Based on his obedience, it was so effortless, so easy. I did not need to work night and day and Sunday as in the past. All I had to do was put God first. The more time and money I gave him, the more he gave me. I have not given him nearly enough. I'm ashamed of myself. He has been so good to me. Giving, for the Christian, properly understood, is not man's way of raising money. Rather, giving is God's way of raising his children. When as children of God we agree to be co-laborers together with him in his great program of redemption by giving back to him some of the resources which he has entrusted to us, we benefit far more than the recipient. I would like to share one particularly important facet of giving. I'm sure one of the highest goals and ambitions each of us has is that our children develop into godly Christian gentlemen and women totally committed to Jesus Christ. I've learned that probably the biggest single factor in this is what our children observe our priorities to be. That says more to children than anything we can say to them or service we can take them to. They are more influenced by what they see our true priorities to be. I've also observed that perhaps a principal indication of our priorities is our giving. After all, that which we give represents a tangible fruit of our time and our talents. Our kids are quick to observe this and to sense that where we really place our priorities. Now, giving is not really dependent on how much income you have or how much money you have in the bank or even how much faith you have. Rather, it is related to how great and how trustworthy is this living God who has promised to supply all of your need. In Luke 5, Jesus relates the incident where his disciples came to him after a fruitless night of fishing, telling him, "Master, we have toiled all the night and caught nothing." Jesus proceeded to tell them to launch out into the deep and put down their nets. They obeyed without really understanding and wound up with a net-breaking, boat-sinking load. Many of us in our Christian lives have been wallowing around in shallow waters, assuming it will be safer there. No need for miracles. But one of the divine paradoxes I've learned over the years is that contrary to normal expectations, it can be much riskier, much costlier to stay in the shallow water than to trust the Lord and launch out into the deep.